Hello, my loves, and welcome to this week's episode of I Think I Need Therapy. Today, we're talking all about my college advice, my tips, my tricks, all of it, seeing as it is that time of year again, back to school. I just got back. If you guys don't know, I go to school at the University of Idaho in the States. I'm Canadian, but I go to school in the States all the way at the other side from where I live in Canada. And it is my senior year, my very last year of undergrad, and I'm kind of sad about it, but also super excited. Lots of emotions with that. This time of year really makes me reflect on like when I came in as a little baby freshman. Oh my god. She was like the most innocent, shy, scared girl, but excited. I remember I drove down with my dad from where I live in Canada. We drove I think it took us about maybe 3.5 days to drive here together. And then I remember driving into the town and being like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then seeing like the university and being like, oh my god, that's the university, we're here. And going into the dorms and getting my little vandal card and just like seeing everyone else and all these little freshmen, and I'm just like, oh my god, because before that I never went to any other school, never had anyone different in my classes. I always was with the same group of people at the same schools my whole life growing up until I came to college. So it was so bizarre for me, but I remember being so scared, not knowing how to make friends. I literally on that 3-day car ride, I remember Googling like how to make friends, kind of. My social awkward ass. I was like Googling like non-basic questions. I was looking up non-basic questions because one thing about me is that I hate being basic, although I'm kind of literally the most basic person, but like not basic. I don't know. I didn't want to be basic and ask like what's your major? Where are you from? Although like you need to ask people that because like you gotta know someone like that way, but I was wanting to ask like these unique questions and like funny, cool questions, and I don't even know. Did I end up asking them? No. But I remember Googling that and being so scared to make friends and meet new people and moving into my dorm and then having like roommates who I didn't even know, and 2 of them were actually friends going in, and so that was a little intimidating, but I didn't know what to do, and I was like just hiding out in my room most of the time and then trying to do things with them, but like being too afraid to ask. Yeah. Sweet little freshman Annika. Oh, what a girl. She's grown a lot. So let's just get right into it. First with the making friends thing and dorm life. So with friends, it took me a long time to get like comfortable, and I was going through a whole self-growth journey all through like grade 12 into like last year and this year still. But during that freshman year period, it was like probably one of the most pivotal years for me for that. And I just went through a lot of different things freshman year. So it was kind of hard for me to, I don't know, make friends, and also was just like be comfortable and confident in myself. It was really hard for me freshman year, and I only learned who I was and got that confidence through my second year of college. So yeah, it was hard for me my freshman year, definitely, but I think what helped me the most in my first piece of advice is just to be in places that everyone else is. Like, for me with my roommates, I literally would just go sit out in the living room because our dorm was like, we had 3 single rooms and then 1 double room, and I was in the double room. And then we shared like a little common area in our specific dorm. We shared like a little sink and fridge and some couches, and then we shared a bathroom too. And that was our little dorm room. And I mean, outside the dorm, you also had like a whole full kitchen that everyone in the building could use, and then a whole like ping pong tables, pool tables, all that fun stuff, a whole piano and all that whatever. That was downstairs, but I didn't go really down there, but I just went into the living room in my dorm room because that was just like the common area. People had their doors open and like were chatting out there and stuff, and like I just felt uncomfortable going to them and being like, oh my god, hey, like who are you, blah blah blah, because that's not me. So I would just go sit out there all freshman year, so I would get comfortable, and so they would start inviting me to things too, because I'm out there. They can easily start a conversation with me. I can easily start a conversation with them, or I don't have to. I can just be sitting there like on my phone or my laptop, and it's just a very comfortable, natural way to become closer with them too. And then they would, like I said, just invite me out to wherever they were going with them, because I would just be there. So they would be like, hey, do you want to come too? And that helped me the most, not locking myself away in my room and like isolating myself, because that is something I did when I went on like track and field things with like on Team Ontario. I remember just locking myself away in my room and not like making an effort to make friends, and that was the most isolating time of my life. I hated that trip because I literally isolated myself and didn't try to make friends, and I felt so lonely. So coming into college, just making an effort or like putting myself out there, even in that smallest of ways of just going to the places where people are does really help and makes you feel more comfortable, and it's so easy, natural way, especially when you're someone who's shy like me and not like a very outgoing person. It was so helpful, and now those girls are literally my best friends, and I know literally so many people here at my university. And even with like my track team, or even athletes in general, like I'm just in the area and just being seen. Like once you see, like that's how me and one of my closest friends, like we're friends because we just saw each other literally every single day for like months, to the point where we were just like, okay, we need to just talk to each other now. And now we're literally just became friends because we just saw each other so much that we were like, okay, we're friends now, and finally talk to each other. And that's normally all it takes if you're a shy person. So put yourself out there, make an effort to make friends, because college sucks if you don't have anyone, and it can be really, really lonely. And it's literally, everyone is going in freshman year the same boat where they don't know anyone. Everyone's always new. Nobody really ever knows anyone there, so, and they want to make friends. They're there to meet new people, so just put yourself out there and put in the effort too. Also with this, maybe don't go into college with a friend. It can be very iffy. You can go into college with them, but maybe don't live with them, because from what my experiences with my roommates, it's not the best choice. And just from other stories I've heard, it's never really the best choice. But it could be. It depends on your relationship with that person. It's a whole different scenario being friends with someone and then being roommates with them. It's a completely different relationship. Not completely different, but it's a whole different relationship, and it can weigh a lot on your friendship if you become roommates and you're not two people who can coincide as roommates and can live together and spend that much time together and, you know, be in each other's spaces like that. It can become a lot depending on the relationship that you have with them. So just be wise about that if you do plan on going into school with a friend. Be wise about that. Also, little tip of advice, don't go into college with a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. I mean, you can. 9 out of 10 times the relationship will end. Not gonna lie, all of my friends who came into school with a boyfriend or girlfriend, that relationship has ended. They are with someone new now. Yeah, try to focus on your friendships. That has been the biggest thing for me, is focusing on friendships in school. I know my old roommate, I asked her about this. I was like, hey, do you have any advice that I should give? And she was like, that's what she said, not to go with a boyfriend, because she did. And it kind of took her away from meeting new people and, you know, becoming friends with like us and like spending time with us and building those connections. Although she did, but going in with a boyfriend does, sorry, I'm saying boyfriend because it relates to me, but going in a relationship, going into school in a relationship, why does that sound so confusing? You can kind of cling to that person and not actually put effort into making new friends, meeting new people, and building those connections. So definitely try, if you are going into a relationship, if that's what you're choosing to do, try and still make time for friends and like make time to meet new people and build those like connections and friendships and stuff. And because that's what's going to take you through. You will have friendships forever. Have those friendships forever. The people you meet in college, like literally so amazing, will be your best friends for life. So go out and focus on those relationships and those friendships and having fun and living it up, because you only get to do college once and the people make it so much better. So find your people. There's literally so many ways you can meet people in college. There's so many people to meet, and there's going to be people there that fit your vibe. So find those people, become friends with them, do the stuff you love, and choose, make the effort to put yourself out there, choose to like prioritize yourself. I know school comes first, obviously, but then like have a good time. Okay. Next is the dorm life and what to pack, what to bring, how fun it is, blah, blah, blah. I 10 out of 10 recommend living in a dorm. 10 out of 10. I did it my first year. That was enough. Wouldn't live there again. But for your first year, live in the dorms. It is so amazing. Great way also to make friends. So fun. I had so much fun there with I was blessed though with having like the best roommates in the world. We had so much fun together. And then down the hall from us was a bunch of my guy teammates lived in a room together, and they became our best friends. And so we were one big group, and we'd always just like run down the hall to their room, or like they'd run down the hall into our room, and we'd like play games across like the hall from each other, like literally mini putt or something. They'd put a cup in front of our door and then like be mini putting up some ping pong ball into it. So random. We did a bunch of funny, silly shit. It was such a fun time. And I've also heard so many other good experiences with living in the dorms. There are bad ones, trust me, it can happen, but you can switch your roommates if you get bad ones, just so you know. But in terms of what to pack, I looked off of, there's like so many dorm room packing lists out there. I found a bunch on TikTok and Pinterest and stuff, or Google, and they will have it all laid out for you and categorized. So I just followed one of those, and they're so good because I can't name like all 100 things off the top of my head right now, so I highly recommend going to look at that. Definitely buy a mattress pad. In my opinion, it made me sleep so much better. Depending on your dorm, blackout blinds too. In my apartment right now, I need them because my room is so bright. Like my blinds don't do shit here. So blackout curtains can be super helpful as well. Little tips there. Don't forget your shower shoes as well. If you're in a very communal shower, like don't forget those. It's not shit. Thank God I didn't have to do that, but I know a lot of people do in the dorms, so don't forget those. Yeah, so that's all for the dorm life, really, that I have. And next I'll go into professors and classes. I remember my roommates like going to print out their syllabi. Is that the word? Syllabuses? It's not syllabuses. They're printing out their syllabi, and I was like, what is this? People do that? This is what I'm supposed to do? And then so I went and printed them all out, and went with my teammate and just like walked around campus to find like where each of my classes were, where their building was, where the classroom was beforehand. And I highly recommend doing that. But printing the syllabi, you don't need to do. You don't need the syllabi like really at all. I basically have everything online on my laptop, on my iPad. So I just, if they're going through the syllabus, I pop it up on your laptop. You have it right there. You don't need to print it out unless you want to, but you don't really need to. Don't feel pressured to unless it's mandatory. Also highly recommend an iPad. I use mine for note taking, and it helps so much because, depending on the class, but I really like it because I can use I can use a bunch of different colors. I can make things bigger, bolder, and just organize it how I want to, and it's so easy, and I don't have to worry about like a bunch of papers or bringing like a whole big notebook and a whole bunch of different pens and stuff. It's just easy, my iPad, and everything is saved, and it's super easy, and it also can record like the lecture, the audio, while you're taking the notes, and then you can go back and replay it, and it'll show you like what notes you were taking while the professor is saying what they were saying while you were writing that. Does that make sense? I don't know why I worded it that way, but I hope you get the point. So that is also super helpful and great. I really like it, but I know it's on the pricier side. If you can afford it, definitely do it. And taking notes on your laptop isn't as effective just because your brain can't memorize, like it doesn't know what keys you're pressing. It doesn't know what letters. So when you're actually physically writing it, you have to repeat it in your brain a lot because you have to first read it or listen to what the professor is saying, then process that, and then while you're writing it, you're also saying in your head. So you memorize it a lot more when you write your notes down. And that's why the iPad works great, because it's the exact same as writing on pencil and paper. And that's the best, most effective way to memorize and engrave in your brain all of the content. So yeah, I recommend an iPad. You don't need to print out your syllabus. Definitely go find where your classes are, what rooms you're in. I mean, for freshman year, yes. For sophomore, junior, senior, you probably don't have to. At least on my campus, it's kind of small, so I literally know where everything is, and I know where I'm literally the same building for most of all of my classes, so I know where all of my classes already are. So I don't have to anymore. But for freshman year, when you're not familiar with the campus, you're not familiar with all of the different buildings and rooms and stuff, definitely go around, just, get comfortable with the whole campus and how long it'll take you to get from your dorm to your class, just to make sure you're there early. Definitely recommend showing up 15 to 10 minutes before your lecture starts. Showing up early is always best. You don't have to sit front row. I've been kind of moving back throughout the years, but sitting in front row or sitting like near the front middle always helped me, just because I wouldn't go on my phone because I'd feel like the professor was watching me, so I just like wouldn't touch my phone, and that helped me a lot to make sure I was focused and paying attention. And also just like gives the professor a good impression of you if you are sitting like kind of near the front, because they know you're paying attention, they recognize you, they see you every time, and they'll learn your name and they'll have that better impression of you. Second, please show up to every single class. Like, don't skip. There's no point. You're paying for these classes. Don't skip them. Show up. Majority of it is literally just showing up. You get attendance in most classes depending on your school. So make sure you show up to every single one, because even just sitting there and listening, you're still getting all the knowledge, and you have that scheduled planned out time already because of these classes to focus on that schoolwork. So why would you skip it and have to make up that time somewhere else in your day? Like, no, just go to your classes, go to all of them, don't skip them, unless you're like me and are literally falling asleep and you actually can't focus and pay attention. and you have to leave class because of it, like that's valid. Maybe just get sleep. But make sure you show up, all in all. Also, your professors make a big difference. So using Find My Professor, wait, is that what it's called? No, it's called ratemyprofessors.com or ratemyprofessor.com. Using that, seeing like what professors are good, or just talking to people, finding out if like they have taken those classes, they liked those classes, and like those professor, how the professor grades stuff and how their classes roll, because sometimes professors don't structure things very well, and then it can cause you to really struggle in the class. And other times there's professors who are really good and structure it in a way that is really helpful for the students and helps them to actually really learn the content. So try and make sure you find a good professor who grades things a little easier and structures the class in a way that would be beneficial for you. Sometimes you don't really have the option of which classes you can take, but there are some times where there's multiple different professors who teach a class. So highly recommend figuring out which professors will be good for you for those classes by using ratemyprofessor.com and talking to people and just figuring it out. Yeah, because that could be a huge thing. I know that for sure. Other than that, I would say for grades wise and the actual content of things and making sure you're on top of your classes is to really like time management is a huge thing. So plan out everything. Make sure you know all of your deadlines, all of your due dates. Plan out like when you're gonna have time each day to put aside for your homework and for your studying. Making sure you have that scheduled time for the studying and for the homework is super important. I know for me, I live off campus now, and I haven't had a car until this year, so I would just stay on campus literally all day from like 8 to 8 and like 12 hours on campus or something like that. Maybe not that long, maybe like 8 hours every single day on campus. 3 of that was working out, but I would do all my classes, and then in the time either between a class and another class or a class and my practice, I would just go somewhere on campus and study or do my homework or just do work, because I'm there on campus putting myself in that location, in that spot, and just being like, well, I'm not going to go home, because if I go home, I'm just going to lie on my couch and scroll on my phone. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Being on campus makes me, in the zone, in the right headspace, and it's like forcing myself to actually do work. I mean, I could sit there and scroll my phone too, but I feel more inclined to do work if I just stay on campus and work and have my laptop out and whatnot. Also, finding a study spot on campus is really nice. I know I have a few that I love and that just like put me in that motivated headspace and like make me want to do work, and that are like more quiet. And it depends on the day or how I'm feeling, but sometimes I prefer to be in really busy populated spots, because I'm like, I don't want people to see that I'm on my phone. Like, I want them to see that I'm doing my work, and they're all doing their work, so I need to do mine. Sometimes that really helps, but other times I get overstimulated and just like to be alone in my own little room. So sometimes I go to like a little study room by myself. Other times I like to go to the library and sit by a window and do work, surrounded by a bunch of people. But I have a few study spots that I love depending on the day and how I'm feeling. And that really, really helps. And just knowing like, okay, in between this class, I'm going to go to this study spot, do some work, and then I can go to my next class or whatever. And I get food on campus, lunch on campus most of the time, or I bring a lunch. So then that also helps out really well with being able to stay on campus in order to do work and in order to get everything done in my day. Then my little last piece of advice would just be really overall to not be afraid, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask your professors for help. Don't be afraid to go to make friends. Don't be afraid to ask your advisors for help. Don't be afraid to join a club. Just put yourself out there, ask the questions, do the scary thing, and just figure yourself out. The beautiful thing about college is that it's the time where you get to really have your own independence and figure out who you as an individual are. That's what it's all about. It's your first time going off on your own, living alone. I mean, you might still live with your parents, and some people do, but if you're not and you're living alone then, or living with roommates for the first time, it's so amazing, and it's such a great time to really figure out yourself and how you like to live and the things you're really passionate about and that you love. And there's so many opportunities for that in university. There's so many just like clubs and people and different groups and different classes that will help you out with figuring these things out. And I encourage you to seek out those opportunities and try new things all the time. See what you like and what you don't like. Go to the little events on your campus. Like, you might meet someone new and meet someone who turns out to be a big part of your life later on. You never know. There's so much opportunity out there for you in university and in your 20s and in this time of your life. There's so much opportunity, so much possibility, and it is so exciting. If you are a new freshman, I wish you all the luck. It's gonna be so good. It is such an exciting time. I hope you're excited. And I wish you all the best with it. If you are graduating like me this year, we got this. Just 1 year, 2 semesters, and it will be all over. Finally, a degree in the hand. Keep in mind what the goal is, what you're trying to achieve, and where you're headed. And that is for everyone. Just really keep in mind your goals and really stick to that. That's another little bit of advice too, is to make sure you set your goals and then break those down into smaller goals. With literally anything you're trying to achieve in life, doing this is such a big help. Like, making sure every single day you have little plans set out that help you get to your bigger goals and the stepping stones to your big goal. And going to college is the first step to getting to your career. So then from there down, making sure you show up to all your classes, making sure you're handing everything on time, making sure you're taking notes and whatever, all the little bits every single day. So break that down and keep in mind the end goal and what you're gonna get out of this, and just have fun. Enjoy it. You're only in college once, so live it up, baby. Live it up. Yeah, I think that's all my advice for you guys. I hope you all had an amazing week and have another amazing week, because I will be back to talk to you next Tuesday. Know that you can find my episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can watch them on YouTube if you want to see my face and my bedroom in my podcast chair where I sit. My DMs are always open. You can always ask me for any advice you need. Give me any podcast episode suggestions, some topics that you want me to touch on. Anything you guys ever need, I'm always here for you all and sending love your way. Okay. Have an amazing, beautiful week, beautiful time. I wish all of you freshmen the best of luck once again, and I will see you guys later. Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye-bye.